Welcome to Off Deadline. I'm Melissa Dijon-Filippo, and my guest today is Kristina Guerrero. Thank you, Kristina, for being here.
This is so fun to be on the other side.
I know. Kristina Guerrero is an internationally recognized pop culture and lifestyle journalist and TV host with over 20 years of experience. She made history as the first Latina host and correspondent for E! Entertainment News and The Daily 10, and most recently hosted the syndicated lifestyle show The List. She's also a producer and narrator for ESPN's 30 for 30 documentaries and directed Walking Through Molasses, a short documentary about her battle with aggressive breast cancer that she uses to advocate for early detection in the Hispanic community. She just finished writing her memoir, She Believed She Could, and launched the She Believed podcast. She holds a bachelor's degree in broadcast journalism from USC and lives in Phoenix with her husband and their 2 sons. I'm so happy that you're here because I've always loved you as a journalist, but also you're my friend.
I know. 2 for 2.
2 for 2. So this is going to be really fun. We're going to go a little bit deeper today.
Okay.
I want to start with your backstory.
Okay.
How did you decide to be a broadcaster, and how did you get your start?
So being in front of the camera has been a dream of mine since I was a little girl. And really, it's so funny because as other kids were watching cartoons or playing outside, I was obsessed with Entertainment Tonight.
Not a bad thing to be obsessed with.
I mean, I'm like 7 years old. I'm like just obsessed with Hollywood and movies and movie stars. And so from a very early age, knew that was the dream job I wanted. I wanted to be on red carpets. I wanted to interview movie stars. Yeah. And it's kind of what I've always wanted to do. So it was a dream of mine since I was a little girl. I studied broadcast journalism when I got to college because I knew that was the field that I was going to go into. So in order to be great in front of the camera, I should be great behind the camera. And so I studied, and then I worked my way up from like intern, production assistant, getting coffee, all the way up to fulfilling my dream, which was interviewing movie stars on the red carpet in Hollywood.
What a dream.
It was a dream come true.
I can't even imagine. Like, I also have always loved watching like the outfits and the energy and like just I'd always imagined how much fun it could be, and to think like you had that job is crazy.
I know. Well, and it's so funny because as I was going into it, I grew up in a very, very small agricultural town in the middle of nowhere, Washington State. And so when I'm talking about moving to Hollywood, people are like, that has not happened to people like us. Like, that's crazy. Yeah. And so the fact that I actually had that dream, considering where I came from and all the circumstances that came with my childhood to then get there, it was, I mean, I often was like, how did this even happen? Yeah, it was really cool. It's got to
feel surreal.
It was very cool. Very cool.
What assignment started as just another day on the job, but ended up being a defining moment in your career?
Well, I love this question, and I just want to put out the caveat that I've been in entertainment and celebrity and lifestyle for most of my career, knowing that the journalists that you probably interview have really covered some incredible life or death situations. Like, what color the Kardashians' hair is this week. Like, those are the kinds of things that I've covered. However, I have been in this business for 20 years. And so I'll just go back to the very beginning of my career and recognizing the importance of journalism and the importance of what it is that we do. And I was still in college, and I was interning at a local TV station in Los Angeles on September 11th. And so for me, you know, I was in college. I had a very one-track mind about Hollywood. I wasn't particularly aware of what was going on in the world. And this just put everything into complete perspective. That the work that we do as journalists can really make a difference in the lives of the people that we're talking to. So while my career has been a lot of fun and, you know, maybe not life or death, I have certainly been in those situations where I've seen the importance of journalism. And being so young, on the front lines, in a newsroom, right after 9/11 for days on end and seeing how important this job was, for me, that was career defining.
Oh, yeah.
1000%.
And just all of the lessons you probably learned in that short period of time, and watching these very senior level people have emotions and break down, I'm sure, and just the chaos of it all. That had to be a crazy experience.
It was there's never been anything quite like it.
Yeah. What was your, I can't believe they're paying me to do this moment that confirmed you had chosen the right profession?
I mean, literally the last 20 years of my life.
That's a really good thing to be able to say.
I know. I mean, I have flown all over the world. I've interviewed the most incredible people, everybody from George Clooney and Julia Roberts. And but even when I was a lifestyle host for The List, I would get to go and try the most amazing food and drinks and travel experiences. So truly, most of my career, I have said, I cannot believe I get to do this for a living. There was one time that I flew to Turkey. I flew to Istanbul to interview Daniel Craig for a 15-minute interview. It was bananas. And I was like, I'm in first class. I'm flying to Turkey to interview Daniel Craig. This is crazy for a 15-minute interview. Yeah, it was. And so I had really, I couldn't even tell you how many, because it was the last 20 years of my career has been a pinch me moment.
God, that's so cool.
Yeah.
To be able to say.
Yeah.
Can you share a moment where you witnessed your journalism make a tangible, positive difference in someone's life? I know, despite it maybe not always being serious, I still think there's probably a lot of those moments.
Yes. I would say, for me, what has really made a difference, it's not necessarily a story, but what my journey has represented to other brown girls who look like me. That has been so rewarding, so humbling, and so gratifying, because when I was growing up, I didn't see a lot of people that looked like me on TV. And so much so that I was like, well, do we exist outside of our small little town?
Yeah.
Where are the people who look like me? From very early on in my career, I recognized what a huge responsibility that was, to just be the face of somebody who can look at me and say, if she can do it, why can't I do it? And I will tell you, I've been doing this for 20 years. And the amount of times that I've had a woman come up to me and say, it reminds me that I'm a little bit older, but to say, I grew up watching you on TV. I watched you on E, and I thought, if she can do it, then I can do it. And those women following in my footsteps to then be red carpet correspondents or hosting their own shows or whatever that case is, that has meant so much to me. And that has made a huge difference in my life and also in their lives. And so that's why, for me, advocating for representation has been so important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a great point, too. I guess I didn't really think about it. And it's also so interesting that you could grow up thinking, I don't see anyone like me in this profession that I want to do.
Yeah.
Wow.
And to be able to have that, you mentioned it at the top of the show, the first Latina to be on E! News as a regular host. We are a show that is seen all over the world. And so for other girls who look like me, or maybe don't even look like me but don't see themselves represented, to be able to see that's game changer.
Oh, yeah. That's got to feel so good. Tell me about a time that you were completely unprepared for an interview, segment, or story, and you had to improvise your way through it.
That's often.
You're so good on your feet, though. I feel like you would, no matter what, no one would ever know.
Yes. No, I did a lot of red carpets, right? So that is something where you don't know who's coming up or why they're coming up. Or the reason I think that I'm really great at my job is because I genuinely love talking to people. Yeah. I can talk to the valet guy like I can talk to a movie star. My husband's like, you talk to everybody. I'm like, I know it's
my literal job.
It's literally what I get paid to do. And so that happens often. So in those, it really just comes down to having a connection and genuinely being interested in talking to somebody. And then also having these tricks, right? So when you don't know what to say or you don't know which direction to go in, you just say, so switching gears. So just keep that one in your back pocket.
I'm going to when someone really throws me off.
So switching gears.
I like it. That's a great little tip. Thank you.
Yes.
Can you describe a time when you advocated for a story that no one else believed in, but it proved to be super valuable?
Okay, this is, well, it became super valuable. Well, okay. I'm going to go back to what I was just talking about, and that is representation. For me, working at E! News, it was a great opportunity, actually in all of my jobs, if I'm being honest, if I'm really, really giving it some good thought. From beginning till the end, I always advocated for people of color to be experts, to be able to be seen in ways that they haven't been seen before.
Yeah.
I do that. I have done that all of my career because I understand the importance of that. Also, that is not as life-changing. When I was at E! News, nobody was covering country music. Okay, I'm just gonna say it. And I grew up in a cow town.
I love country.
Same.
I know.
I grew up in a country cow town, and so I loved country music. And moving to Hollywood, people were like, "We don't listen to country music." I'm like, "You guys, there's this new girl. Her name is Taylor Swift, and I really think we're gonna do something here. I think that we're it's untapped entertainment, and so I pushed for it until the very I was there for 6 years, and by the end, I was at every single country award show, and I was in Nashville, and all the country music
No one else
stars.
wanted to cover it. You're like, I get the opportunity. Everyone's like, you can have it.
Yes, and then of course it becomes the biggest thing, and then they want to take it from you. I'm like, that's my assignment. So maybe not as life changing. I'm like, you guys, this country music thing, I think it's gonna go mainstream here in a second.
Did you ever get to interview Taylor Swift?
Many times.
Oh
yeah.
my gosh, how cool!
I actually interviewed her. It was her first red carpet, and I don't even remember the event. It might have been People's Choice or Kids' Choice or something.
Yeah.
And this publicist walks up, and she hands me this card. It says new artist Taylor Swift, and it has all of her likes and all of her things. And I was like, yeah, I'll interview her. And it was one of her first red carpets that I ever got to interview her for. And then ultimately, she became the big star that she was. And I interviewed her at, many events after that.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, it was very cool.
Do your kids think you're cool?
Nope. You know what? I told them that I had 37 followers on YouTube, and Mateo was pretty impressed.
Oh, you know what?
He's like, you have a YouTube channel? That was impressive for him. So I was like, it's actually funny. I was doing this story. I was at the Grand Canyon, and I had a camera guy, and I had a producer, and I had audio, and I was shooting some stuff. And this little girl comes up to me, and she's just like, "Are you on YouTube?" I'm like,
that's the goal.
I know, right? I'm like, I'm on television. She's like, oh, okay. She was more impressed that if I would have said that I was on YouTube with the whole crew, and she's like, "Are you on YouTube?"
What does that tell you though about where media is going?
Shoot, maybe I need to be on. Maybe I need more than 27 followers on YouTube.
We'll get you there.
Yeah,
we're gonna get you there. What unconventional path or experience in your life has unexpectedly made you a better journalist?
I don't know that it's unconventional, but it certainly did not. I didn't see it coming, and that's motherhood.
Yeah.
Isn't that the truth?
It totally changes everything.
It changes everything. And I didn't know how much it was going to change, not just my life, but my profession as a journalist. It gives you a depth and an empathy to be able to connect with people in a way that I don't think I was ever able to before that. It's not even about necessarily are you talking about kids, or are you, do you have that in common? Who I am as a mother and how I've come to love my children then also comes through in the way that I just speak to other people. Mm-hmm. My depth of empathy is completely different than it was before my children. And I would say that absolutely I did not see that one coming.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's also maybe not what you would think.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not maybe it's just, it's so big.
It affects so many pieces of your life.
Absolutely.
It's unavoidable, and it's so awesome and scary and all the things wrapped up.
Yeah. My storytelling and the way that I connect with people is better because I'm a mother.
Yeah.
Which is, I didn't see that coming.
Total legit
Yeah.
answer. And I guess I've never thought of it framed that way, but being a parent just changes you so much.
Yeah.
So it will affect all the pieces.
Yeah.
Your tolerance for things, the way you talk to people, your patience level.
The way you multitask, the way you do all of the things. And so I don't like, what are some other things that people have said in that one?
They usually talk about like doing a job that was totally different,
Right,
that like
yeah.
they never expected to get. But I mean, no one's really said parenting, and I think it's probably the best answer so far, honestly, because really you can't plan for, you can, but you don't plan for the feeling.
Yeah.
You don't plan for like the outcome of that. You know?
And it's just made me a better human for sure, but I didn't imagine how much it was going to make me a better journalist and storyteller
I love that.
too.
I want to dive in a little bit before we go to rapid fire to your personal story, because I know a lot of it. I've listened to your podcast. Everyone should follow it.
Yes,
She Believed.
Uh-huh.
And it's on every podcast platform and YouTube, obviously. Go follow her on YouTube. We need to get her more than 37 followers. But you had breast cancer and you are an alcoholic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had a drinking problem, and then I'm struggling with the word alcoholic these days.
Because maybe it's not like a current thing you feel. Right? So that's a hard thing to say.
Yeah.
But can you just talk about your story?
Yes. So She Believed is a podcast based on my memoir that I wrote after I had a really hard year. And I'm going to just like break it down. I came to terms with a drinking problem. I got sober. I found God. And then I got diagnosed with a very aggressive form of breast cancer that my doctor said would kill me had I not found it when we did. And then had surgery to remove my cancer in my breast, and then I lost my job. Speaking of country music, I was living in a dang country music song.
Literally.
It was a hard year, and so I started writing this memoir just as a way to process everything that I had been through, and I started to uncover a lot of things in my life that led to this breaking point of a drinking problem and then sobriety. And so I kind of, even though the breast cancer happened and I experienced that, the sobriety really was before and after. And so I'm very honest about the drinking problem that I had, because I think that there is a stigma surrounded around it. I think that there's a shame and a guilt.
And an expectation for moms. It's like okay that moms drink a bottle of wine every night.
Yes.
Which is just a weird cultural thing that is not a thing.
That's not a thing, and honestly, that I bought into, right? Mm-hmm. That so many of us buy into. And so when it's normalized in a way, you don't even realize that you're doing anything wrong.
Yeah.
And so for me, being able to share my experience and share my story in this capacity, I just hope that, it just gives a voice and a face to this kind of epidemic that is happening, especially among young women.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
And definitely like your podcast so far, I know it's only a few episodes in, and by the time this comes out, there'll be a lot more. But it's really good.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. And I just resisted it for so long doing a podcast, but I think it's also timing, right? Because when the timing hit, everything fell into place.
Yeah.
And the storytelling has been very easy, kind of very similar to the memoir. It all came at exactly the right time. And so this opportunity to share my story is also coming at the right time. And so it's all falling into place. But thank you so much for saying that.
I wouldn't just say that. You know me, I'm blunt. I would just not say anything. My friends know this.
I appreciate that.
Okay, we're going into rapid fire.
Okay,
so
let's
you have
see.
to say the first thing that comes to mind.
Gosh, okay.
And if you have a little story, that's fine too.
Okay.
Most bizarre place you've ever conducted an interview?
That was when I went to Turkey, 15 minutes with Daniel Craig in Turkey.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Did you hang out there for a little longer?
I had 72 hours. Yes. It's an incredible, incredible place. But yeah, it was just so fast.
Wow. Story you'd cover if an editor said, unlimited budget, go wild.
I would cover the entire world.
Okay.
I'd be like, we need to visit every single continent from the East Coast to the West Coast. Yep. And so let's go ahead and do it. I would travel the world.
Love it.
Yeah.
What's the weirdest thing you've ever expensed for the job?
Oh, gosh. Okay, this goes back to my drinking problem, but I'm just going to say it. This is all actually coming full circle because I went to Nashville for the CMT Awards or the CMA Awards, and I was like, you know what we need to do? We need to do shots of Jack Daniels with all of the attendees because they're nervous. And so my producer and I went and got a bunch of bottles of like the Jack Daniels because, you know, we're in Tennessee.
Of course.
And of course, all of the country stars, they were just like, bottoms up. Bottoms up, let's do it. I'm like, I'm going to expense 50 bottles of whiskey. Thanks. And they're like, did you have fun? Did you get great moments? I did. Yes, well, then all right.
Oh, that's great.
It was a time for sure.
Oh, yes. But you didn't, I hope you didn't take one every
No, God, no, I wouldn't have been able to do the other. Yeah, I wouldn't have been able to.
Oh, my God.
Well, I felt bad because I would pretend to do it and they're all doing, but it was just one to, you know,
yeah, of course.
1 to 50. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, totally.
So.
What's the most outrageous celebrity behavior you've witnessed that never made it into your reporting?
I interviewed this celebrity who had I won't say his name,
That's
but
okay.
he had an absolute complete meltdown. And it was actually kind of scary. Yeah, it was kind of scary. And at that point, I was like, I don't think celebrity news is for me. Luckily, that was a one-off. It never happened again. But he had a complete meltdown. And it
like,
was,
how so? Just like tantrum?
Yes, like a complete tantrum, just yelling and throwing. And yeah, he was not well.
Oh,
he
my
was not
God.
well. Yeah, it did not make it into the story.
Yeah. Okay, last question.
Okay.
What's one piece of advice you'd give to someone just starting in journalism today?
Don't ever don't ever forget the storytelling aspect of it. It's all about a story, beginning, middle, and end, and the stories that you tell have consequences in great ways and in maybe not so great ways. So never forget that part of it.
That's so good.
Especially because journalism is changing so much. The way that I started in this business 20 years ago or even 10 years ago, I mean, even 5 years ago is so different. And so I don't even know what the landscape of journalism is going to look like. Yeah. So the responsibility of a journalist who's starting out to recognize that their words matter, gosh, let's just hold on to that.
Yeah, that's a really good one. Thank you so much, Kristina, for being here. This was a pleasure.
Well, that was so fast.
I know.
Oh, my gosh.
I appreciate it.
Yay, of course. No, thanks so much for having me.
Of course. Yay.